Have you started working towards where you go from here? When you leave Damascus, where are you going to go? 5, 10 years from today, what are you going to be? The Bible said without vision, people perish. And the word perish means they walk carelessly and they live aimlessly. They live without a plan. They live without purpose. They don't know where they're going and they don't know what they want in life. Do you know what you want? Do you know where you're going? What do you want to be? What will you become in this life? You must have a plan. You must know where you're going. So that when anything comes that is contrary to where you are going, you don't follow it. You don't follow it. If you live here, you are driving, and you know exactly where you're going, you don't take any turn until you get to the right turn where you're going. And there are many turns from here to Accra. From here to the airport, if you are flying and you go into the airport, there are many turns. But you got to know the right turn to the airport when you leave this place. If you don't know the right turn to the airport, you take any turn. And if you take any turn, you miss your flight, you never get to where you're going. There are so many people in this life. They take off driving and they don't know where they're going. They follow every turn. They turn to the left, they turn to the right, they turn everywhere, and they miss it in life. You can't miss it in this life. For this purpose the Son of God was made manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Jesus said, it is finished. It's finished. He knew his purpose. He said, mission accomplished. It is done. Paul said, I have finished my course. How do you know that you finish your mission and your assignment? If you don't know it. Unless you know your purpose and you concentrate on it, you will follow everything in life. So many young girls today get pregnant prematurely. They get pregnant before your time. Because you play with fire. And when you play with fire, fire will burn you. The young man says, I love you. Thank you. This is not the time to love, young man. I'm not ready for love. There is time for everything. There's time for everything. There is time to love and there's time to hate. That's what the Bible says. There's time to live and a time to die, a time to build and a time to tear down. You have to know your season, your time. Why are you here? If we don't plan and if we don't concentrate, if we don't focus on something, we'll get distracted by everything. And like Peter, you get distracted, you will sink. You get distracted, you will go down. Anyone that has become somebody in life, concentrated, set their mind on something, determined to do something, be determined that you'll be the best student in Damascus. Be determined that when you leave this school, everyone that comes after you will know that once upon a time you were here. Determined that when you leave this school, there will be records. When I left Bible school, because I was dyslexic, so I suffered. I had a serious problem with education, and I couldn't go to school. I struggled a lot because in those days, even now, they don't have skills to deal with issues of dyslexics. So it was a big problem for me. But when I went to Bible school and I saw that it was an opportunity to do something with my life, I decided I'll give it my best. And my first book I read was the Bible. And it's my best book up to today. And I said to myself, I am not going to be distracted. When I left Bible school up to today, anyone that went to Bible school after me in Benin City, my name is there. Everybody talks about Duncan-Williams. I became the pride of my school. Among all the thousands of students that went to that school, I'm one of the best products of that school. Because I had an opportunity and I said, I was denied of education, and this is one opportunity. I will not blow it. I will give it my best. I will make the best out of it. When I came from that school, every student and every class after me, they talk about me in that school. Principals, teachers that came decades after me, they read about me. Duncan-Williams. I remember one time there was a subject called, a particular subject. I haven't read it at that time because I couldn't read at that particular time. Eschatology. Eschatology is about the second coming of Jesus. And the principal was teaching, and then at a point he stopped and he said, I want some questions. So he asked some answers. He was asking questions and he needed an answer. And I haven't read the subject. I could hear, I could listen. At that time I was speaking pidgin English. And so he called me. He said, Duncan-Williams, stand. And he asked me a question and I didn't understand at that time eschatology. So he said, you must give me an answer. And I was standing there, I didn't know what to do. But I remember a few weeks before he had taught on speaking in tongues and interpretation. So I was just standing there, I said, but me, I can speak in tongues. So I spoke in tongues. So he said, Duncan-Williams, what is the meaning of the tongues? I said, interpret it. It's tongues and interpretation. So you do the interpretation. He just laughed and looked at me and said, Duncan-Williams, Duncan-Williams. All right, I'll pass you. So he passed me. He passed me. I was not discouraged. I was not embarrassed. Listen to what the Bible said, because of the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame. He despised the shame. He didn't allow what anybody call an embarrassment to stop him. And I talk about these things because I didn't stay there. I didn't stay there. I am not embarrassed of what I used to be, because I am not what I used to be. Are you hearing me, somebody? And I speak about it, I talk about it to let you know what the grace and the power of God can do. How God can take nothing and make something out of. How God can make a nobody a somebody. How God can bring somebody from nowhere to somewhere. Come on, put your hands together, say yes.